it got a little weird last year just because, and they did skyrocket a lot of players that did debut last year, kind of just for that reason. Like Ke'Bryan Harris, a third baseman with the Pittsburgh Pirates, debuted and did awesome with them. I think his slash line was like 376, 442, and 680 something.
Yeah, and they'll just trade him for
So
the Rays.
Dude was just crushing the ball. The dude was crushing. So he like jumped from like 20 to like 8 or something like that.
Yeah, and the Rays will get him for nothing.
No, they're not trading. Again, Pittsburgh's not trading prospects at this point, or at least their current GM wouldn't do that.
That's the only way he'll
But
keep
the Rays
his
do
job.
have the top prospect in baseball, Wander Franco. This dude was one of the top international signings in 2017. And just to put in perspective, the dude's hitting grade is graded out as an 80, which is the maximum you can give a prospect.
Which is weird that it's not 100.
The scale is 20 to 80.
I don't
20, they kind of say like 50 to 50, like between 50 and something like that is about average. 55 to 65 is above average. 65 to 75 is like way above average, and like 75 and over is, excellent. Like this dude's like elite at this skill. So
I would
like
rate
Buxton Speed was like a 75 to an 80.
I would rate Brian as a person as 75 or over.
Oh, thanks. You're more like a 45. So
No, 45. Brian is a 75 or higher.
I look at this list. One of the biggest climbers, if you remember this name, Jared Kelenic. He was the guy that the Mets traded for Robinson Cano and Edwin Diaz.
Yeah, I remember.
I.e., a big reason why the everybody in the front office was fired this last offseason. So
You see that Stephen Cohen just deleted his Twitter account?
Well, I think he was getting harassed here because of all this GameStop stuff that I don't think he has anything to do with.
Yeah, so Dave Patorni, your boy over at Barstool.
Portnoy.
Whatever.
I'm not a huge fan of him. He has some occasional good stuff or something, but, not like a huge, follower of his or whatever.
He said he called out Steve Cohen saying...
He called out, Robin Hood and all these other guys,
Yeah.
and Cohen was kind of like, why are you calling me out or something?
He
Again,
said...
For all you baseball fans out there, Steve Cohen has not backed away from one tweet, probably. He has been very much entertaining, I would say, on Twitter, the new Mets owner.
He's
Steve
been
Cohen.
more active than any other baseball or actually any other team owner outside of Mark Cuban. He's been more active.
Cohen's been pretty hilarious. Cohen's pretty hilarious, too, in some of these.
So he deleted his Twitter because that guy from Barstool was talking about how his friends or whatever was all a part of this whole short selling on GameStop and getting Robinhood to block the trading. So then Cohen's family started getting personal threats to his family and people saying we're going to kill you and all this. So he just stepped away from Twitter saying, y'all motherfuckers are crazy. So he just said he just released an official.
I think Portnoy even kind of said, okay, maybe Steve Cohen wasn't a part of this because Cohen was actually engaging with him on Twitter.
Yeah, Cohen was just like, I don't know where these accusations are coming from, what you're talking about, but I have nothing to do with it.
Right, yeah. But no, yeah, do you want to try to name the 4 Twins who are in the top 100 prospects on MLB.com?
Royce Lewis.
He's in at 17.
Alex Kirilloff.
He is in at 26. He actually jumped up. He was at 29 or something before.
Yeah, because he got a hit in the playoffs, and it won't count as his first official hit because it wasn't in a regular season. It was in the playoffs. Stupid fucking...
Yeah, baseball's weird like that.
I would say it's not Nick Gordon because he fell
back. Oh, God, no, dude. No. Dude, he fell. In the last, 3 years, he's fallen so far.
It's going to be Brent Rooker. Or is he even considered a prospect anymore?
I'd have to look it up, but he may still be considered a prospect because he does not have the at-bats to qualify off the list. I can't actually look up team names here because they are updating them now. So typically they don't come out with when you're how MLB.com will work is if your team or the team that you're looking for has a top 10 farm system, they'll update those later.
Yeah.
And announce them as like a special on MLB Network. So
I'll ask you right
so
now.
the Twins could easily fall for.
The Twins
I could tell you that I'm seeing like 3 different Padres in like the top 15 here. So.
Which is weird because after all their trades and they're still keeping all their top.
But again,
prospects.
they did not trade their top 2.
Yeah.
They did not trade their top 2 or 3
they
here,
got,
so
what,
which
you
is even more impressive on their part.
They got you
Darvish, Blake Snell.
Blake Snell, which is weird that the Rays traded Blake Snell without going after top prospects. That's really weird.
Well, I think the Rays are smart enough to know. Well, again, they traded like what? Well, they gave up a couple of big league. I think they gave up the Padres gave them a couple guys, like with the Cleveland stuff last year with trading for Clevenger. They gave up like 3 major league players, and with the Rays, they sent them Francisco Mejia, who is a major league catcher.
Yeah, well, they got fleeced on that fucking trade because Clevenger, 2 games in, was like, "Ow, my arm hurts," and he didn't.
Well, again, you can't control what happens there. So
yeah, it's almost as bad as the Twins trade with the Giants for what's his fucking face, the guy that
Dyson.
Sam
Dyson.
Sam Dyson. He immediately comes.
Not
to the
quite
Twins.
as bad because like Clevenger did come at like a hefty prospect toll. Dyson was pretty much
but Sam Dyson comes
give
to
him
the
a
Twins.
give him a 17-year-old Dominican in the rookie leagues.
He comes to the Twins and he goes, "Oh, by the way, the Giants probably didn't tell you this, but my arm is shot and I can't pitch." And the Twins put him out there and he was awful. And he was like, "Yeah, my arm is shot." And then he gets accused of domestic violence?
That came a while afterwards, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, so fuck that guy. So,
but now, do you want to guess the other 2? You got the 2 with Lewis and Kirilloff. That's pretty basic knowledge, though, right there. So.
Is Jeffers considered? Because he was basically in every
yes, but he is not on here. I'll give you a hint. This guy's an outfielder. The two that you haven't named is an outfielder and a pitcher.
Johan Duran.
Incorrect.
Alcala?
Incorrect. Alcala's no longer a prospect.
Really? He's not? I didn't think he has the innings.
He's pitched, I think, the required amount of innings.
I'd say he's less than 25 innings pitched.
He pitched like 25 innings last year, dude. So.
Yeah, but the year before that, it wasn't him at all. It was fucking Brusdar Graterol.
He pitched like a couple innings the year in 2019.
I saw Brusdar Graterol pitch in person, and that dude fucks. The Dodgers.
That is off topic.
That Dodgers got a good guy in Brusdar Graterol. Fucking Red Sox, y'all stupid as fuck for not taking him. That guy is good, and guess what? He's now a World Series champion. The kid's good. He'll never be a starter. He wants to be a starter. He's saying that he
won't be just because of because of his size. He's 6'1", 263.
You throw 102 miles
there's
an
no
hour.
way he can sustain. Yeah.
You throw 102 miles an hour. You're never going to be a starter.
He's already had the surgery, James.
Yeah. The surgery that used to be a big deal. Now it's not as much.
Well, again, they still care that you've had it, so.
Yeah. You can only get it once per arm.
Do you want me to name the 2 you're not getting?
Just name them.
Coming in at number 80 is Trevor Larnach.
Ah, that was stupid. I should have known that one. Yeah.
That one I'm a little surprised you didn't get. So.
Yeah, I should have known that one.
And at number 97, Jordan Balazovic, I believe is how you pronounce that. I've also heard Balazovic. I've also heard.
It's Balazovic. I've seen the.
Yeah, I've heard Balazovic, but I've heard Do Hwang say 2 different ways. So.
No, Dustin Morris, the PR guy for the Twins, whenever somebody comes up, he always tweets out a video of the player saying how to pronounce their name, and I remember his was Balazovic.
Yeah, I heard He pitched in the Futures game back in 2019. Did pretty well, you know. got him showcased.
So Alcala is.
I like his. I like
Alcala is the one.
Balazovic size. He's 6'5", 215. So that's a good starter size.
Alcala is the one that's the breaking pitch, and Balazovic is the one that's with the high heat, right? Or is it the other way around?
Duran is the one with like the. Are you talking Johan Duran here? Or?
Johan Duran.
Johan Duran's the one that can hit triple digits.
Yeah, he'll throw 100.
Balazovic is the guy that's far more polished.
He's the one with. He's the one with the breaking pitch control, and he can paint the corners with the fastball.
He can hit mid-90s on his fastball,
which is good enough. Low 90s.
I'm looking at his scout. I'm actually looking at Balazovic's scouting report right here.
Low 90s gets you into the show. High 80s.
When low 90s, you better be able to throw it on the outside quarter blindfolded and spinning around 3 times.
Oh yeah, and it's got to have a little bit of movement. It's got to move a couple inches at least.
Got to have a little bit of a cut on it. So
yeah, a 2-seam or a cutter or a sinker.
I don't like sinkers anymore nowadays. So
what? They're perfect ground ball outs.
Sinker ball is what held back Garrett Cole in Pittsburgh.
A sinker ball is harder to hit out over the outfield fence than any other pitch outside of a hand or a curveball.
Yeah, and then Houston told him, get rid of that sinker, just go 4-seamer, cutter, breaking ball, and all that. And look what Garrett Cole did in Houston.
Yeah, and then he got paid by the Yankees.
Money, 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 money.
And then had a regress year.
Money.
Which is normal. Whenever somebody signs a massive contract, they always have a regressive year. Always do. That's what I hate about baseball.
He came out pretty hot, though, in the first couple of starts. And again, I'm willing to write off 2020 for a lot of these guys. Not just Cole, but like Christian Yelich, Javi Baez, Frankie Lindor. I'm willing to write it off 2020 for them.
How about Lindor? He goes from a probably third-place team in the AL Central to somebody who's, like, contending for the NL title.
To be honest, I like the fact that the character of Lindor is in New York.
Yeah, he's a likable guy. He's not going to talk... He's not going to talk shit about anybody in the media. I don't even think he has a Twitter account.
I think he does or something. But again, like the dude just like this is kind of like one of those guys like, you know, when I throw like him out there, I throw like Tatis Jr. out there. These are the guys you kind of want to become like really kind of face of the game. Mookie Betts. They're just likable guys.
Mike Trout.
Who've got a little bit more personality to them.
Mike Trout.
They're just
Chris
guys.
Bryant.
What's that?
Mike Trout and Chris Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, these guys were probably at one, like Chris Bryant, I think everybody kind of hoped would become like the face of the game.
The guy's likable. Again, he's good. I will
say Chris Bryant's always kind of had like this. He's not really like from the Midwest, but I felt like he always fit in Chicago and like the Midwest area because he did kind of always have this kind of like aw shucks personality about him.
Yeah. I think he is
like if you listen to him give interviews and stuff, there's kind of like this, "Oh shucks, I don't know how great I am." Or
right now, so, he's the second.
Unlike Bryce Harper,
he's the second best third baseman in the league.
Oof, I don't know about that, dude.
Nolan Arenado's number 1. Chris Bryant.
What about Matt Chapman? Do you put Chris Bryant above Matt Chapman?
I put Bryant at number 2, Chapman number 3.
So you put like Bryant ahead of guys like Chapman, Machado, Bregman,
I got it at number 4.
Donaldson,
I got number 6.
Jose Ramirez in Cleveland.
Jose Ramirez, I got number 5.
I don't know. Well, MLB MLB Network, Brian Kenny's little hosted show that he does every year.
Yeah,
breaks
and
down the
Josh
top 10
Donaldson
of every...
was like number 8.
Because they take into consideration the last 2 or 3 years. I remember 2018, 2019, I think, with the Braves, he had a great year.
Yeah, in 2020 with the Twins, he was on the bench hurt.
Well, again, 2020, weird year for everybody, so...
He fucking tweaked
I'm willing
his
to write